5 reasons not to move to Oakland, California. The earliest known inhabitants were the Huchian Indians who lived there for thousands of years. In 1772, the area that later became Oakland was colonized with the rest of California by the Spanish settlers for the King of Spain. Oakland is in the eastern region of the San Francisco Bay. I'll give you 5 reasons not to move to Oakland. Number 5. Housing. Oakland is expensive for the average American. A 1-bedroom apartment will cost you $3,000 a month, and that is the average. This could be due to people leaving San Francisco and are taking over Oakland, which is having a massive impact upon the local community. When you move to Oakland, you will see frequent changes such as seeing friends leaving because the rent is too high and the property is costing too much to buy. People are breaking their backs to stay afloat. Students cannot afford to do what they want. Families are being ruined, and many divorces are initiated by women. In addition, you will hear constant noise where there is new buildings being built for houses and businesses. Number 4. Expensive. Living in California is expensive. The Bay Area is the most expensive area. If you compare San Francisco with Oakland, it has similar prices, but to rent a property in Oakland, it is cheaper. Food prices are generally the same. If you decide you want to eat at a restaurant, it will be expensive compared to the rest of the cities in America. On average, a house costs more than $650,000. The Bay Area has been underbuilding for decades, according to the rental site apartment list. The Bay Area housing market is the nation's most undersupplied market, and it's estimated that California needs 3.5 million homes by 2025, but experts say a new development will likely be hampered by one major factor: the high cost of construction. Number 3. Areas to avoid. Crime is everywhere in Oakland. Even the safest neighborhoods in Montclair or Piedmont has home burglaries. You should try to avoid places in the north and east of Oakland, as the areas is a hotspot for drugs and violence. Areas in the east you should avoid are the Lower Fruitvale and the International Boulevard. Areas in the north you should avoid are Rose Garden and Redwood Heights. These places are bloody and violent, so avoid them at all costs. Number 2. The Great Struggle. There is great segregation between the locals and the people who have moved there. From more expensive places such as San Francisco, the gap between rich and poor is increasing, and the local people are forced to get out of the city. You need to earn at least a 6-figure salary to live a decent life. Schools are rubbish in Oakland. Why? Because it is segregated. White parents don't like sending the kids where you find black students.
And if there's too many colored people around here, I definitely will get out.
An example is Oakland Hills, which is home to some of the highest performing public schools in the region, while Flatlands schools has struggled. This is due to lack of funding because of people who live there. Oakland, in other words, has long had a separate and unequal educational system within its public school district, with students receiving disparate opportunities depending on the zip codes in which they live. Many white families in Oakland have long avoided the public school system altogether, choosing to send their children to private schools. But even the white families that do enroll their kids in OUSD tend to do so in segregated schools. There is a great segregation in America, and we don't have that in England. However, we have a class system, which is bad. Number 1. Violent crimes. Even though properties cost a bomb, you will hear gunshots when you live there. How ironic, as you would expect to live without being killed when you pay a lot of money to buy a house. But this is Oakland, where you will hear gunshots and people get killed in broad daylight. The crime rate in Oakland is 136% higher than the average of the whole of the state of California, and when compared with the national average, it is 158% higher. When looking at violent crimes, Oakland has 185% higher violent crime rate than California on average, and having a crime rate of 235% higher than the national average. In property crime, Oakland is 126% higher than the average of California, and it is 145% higher than the national average. Blimey, Oakland has a lot of bastards in the area who are messing with their areas up. Bastards. I hope these bastards rot in hell. I hope you learned something from this video. Oakland is really expensive and is a hotspot for crimes, and it is pretty grim. Make sure to subscribe, share and comment, and see you in another time.